What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today we're going to be starting off our BT8 battle content. This is going to be between myself on the right playing Imperialdramon, and on the left we're going to be having X-Antibody. Now, I do have some proxies in my list because I don't have the starter decks yet, so I do have the starter deck cards proxied for the Imperial starter deck, and over the next couple days I'll be uploading some BT8 matches, which may also have some proxies in it since we don't get the starter decks up until a couple days after this is going to be uploaded. So I'm going to go ahead and promote XVmon. I can go and swing with jamming and get the draw off the Demi V right now, and since my opponent played Coda, they're going to go to 3 anyway, so I just decided I'm going to go ahead and play Davis, grab Raydramon and Imperialdramon right there, so that'll be able to help me set up later. I want the level 5, the Imperialdramon, to be able to play later, and as of right now it's looking like my opponent decided to build up in raising, so they're not actually going to be able to swing over my XVmon, meaning that I'm going to be able to swing in with jamming once again and get another draw, put my opponent down to 3 memory, so I'm definitely going to want to commit that. First, just going to go and put EX1 Vmon in the back. I do want to have those inheritable Vmons in there, so that way I can start to get things going later on once I get up into my Imperialdramon, but I knew I got the Raydramon and stuff like that, so I can go ahead and Digivolve, go down to 1 in raising, and then I can either play another Tamer or I could play out another Rookie, and I decided to go with the Davis Ken here. That's going to make it so that when I promote my Raydramon next turn, no matter what, I'm going up to 5, and that'll be pretty big, so that way I can just go and extend all my plays at 5. That means that I don't need to have Stingmon to be able to DNA Digivolve. I can go ahead and just hard play an XVmon if I want to, or another Raydramon to be able to go down to 0, and then I'll be able to DNA Digivolve there. My opponent did draw a card right there. It was a little bit of an accident, so we just went ahead and put it back on top, but it doesn't matter because they're going to go into the Doro Greymon in back anyway, so now they're going to be able to just draw that card no matter what, doesn't matter. But once again, my XVmon lives, so I'm going to be able to swing in and jamming, gain another draw. I do swing into the Coda, but that's no big deal right here because I got my opponent down to 2 security, and I'm going to be able to put myself in a position to where I can go up into the Imperialdramon with jamming and be able to get swing unsuspend. So I'm going to go and swing with the Raydramon. It's going to go ahead and armor purge down to the Vmon, but then I can go ahead and just Digivolve back on top of it. I will be at 3 memory still, so I can very easily just go ahead and go up into the Imperialdramon here. So I'm going to DNA Digivolve. Imperialdramon will come out. No cards to be able to bounce, but I can swing unsuspend, gain a memory off the EX1 Vmon, and then just swing in for game since I did have that jamming, and able to just take it up right there. My opponent was just playing a little too slow. They didn't really have the juice there. I think they needed to promote early and swing over the XVmon with that Darugamon when they played it earlier. That would have made it so that way I wasn't able to get 3 swings with the XVmon and just be able to DNA Digivolve into the Imperialdramon for pretty much free. So they have the Dorumon in the back, and then they're going to be able to have the new Tamer out, and so they'll be able to promote, gain 1, draw 1 if they choose to promote. But I just decided to play out a jamming Vmon so that way I can get a little bit more aggression going next turn. I find that the early aggression is going to be fairly strong in this matchup just because they do have to spend time building up. They do want to spend time going into their Tamers and whatnot, so it gives you a couple turns to be able just to swing in, as we saw with the XVmon earlier. So I can just swing in with jamming Vmon, easily get a check right there, and then just Digivolve up into the Raydramon. That's going to put my opponent at 1, just Digivolving for 2. I wanted to just give them minimal memory right here so that way they don't have too much to do. They're going to be able to gain 1, draw 1 here, go to 2. They're going to be able to swing, put a source underneath with the Yuji, which means that they're going to be able to gain a memory and draw a card, go up to 3. So now they can go into the Oriumon for just 3 if they want to. So they're going to go ahead and attack into the Raydramon here, gain the memory, and Digivolve up into the Oriumon for 3, going down to 0. And they're going to have the effect go off, which is going to go ahead and pop both of my Raydramon, so I'm going to be able to armor purge both of them down. Now we're just waiting to see what card they want to put underneath with the Oriumon when Digivolving effect. I see the Dorumon, I see Doro Greymon, I see Darugamon, so they have multiple sources depending what they want to go for here. They're going to go with the Dorumon. That's going to allow them to gain another memory, and then once again the effect is going to be able to pop, and they're going to swing over, armor purge, so now I still have 2 Vmon, and their Digimon is suspended, so likely both these Digimon are going to be relatively safe from being deleted, which means that I can go ahead and promote my XVmon next turn, and if they give me at least 2 memory, then I'm going to be able to have the memory to either Digivolve up into Raydramon or Stingmon in my hand, and that would make it so that I could DNA Digivolve here. So they're going to go ahead and reboot right there. Now, I'm just going to go straight into the Stingmon and then DNA Digivolve up into the Imperialdramon here. The Oriumon does have blockers, so I don't want to swing with the XVmon jamming. I don't want it to go down, but I can go into Imperialdramon, go ahead and bottom deck the Ryudomon here, so that's at least 1 less threat on the board, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put my opponent to 5 with the Megadeth. I don't believe they are playing Breath of the Gods in this list, so that's a little bit of an upside for me because they are going to be very weak to the Megadeths. As we see right there, I put them to 5 memory with the Megadeth, but that doesn't really matter to me at all because now they get to build back up, and that's great, but their sources are just gone. They're going to have to go for a complete build-up once again, which is going to give me so much time with this Imperialdramon on the field. Next turn, I'm going to be able to swing twice with Imperialdramon with jamming. I'll be able to swing with the Vmon with jamming. That's 3 checks right there, and is going to give me a potential to be able to go in for game, considering that they're only at 4 security right now. So going to be able to swing, unsuspend 2 EX1 Vmons in the source, which means I'm going to gain 2 memory right there, and then go in for the third jamming swing, going to hit the Tsunarizumon, so nothing to be worried about right there. X-Vmon in the back, I can't necessarily go for game at the moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that X-Vmon up in the back, so that way next turn I'll be able to promote it, be able to go with the whole cycle once again, and I'm just going to go ahead and play Ice Wall, and then go up into Imperialdramon, put my opponent to 2, and they're going to be able to go to 4 with the Yuji's effects, but that is fine because they're going to have to be able to Digivolve for 2 with the effect, and then they'll play 2 with the Ice Wall, which will put them down to 0, which means I can't really develop too much, and they'll probably have to give me at least 2 or 3 memory, which is going to set me up to be able to go into the Imperialdramon right there. So my opponent did a little bit of thinking. I did cut it right there just to see what they want to go for. They're going to swing, pay 2 with the Ice Wall. They are going to be able to put the Dorumon underneath, which is going to allow them to gain the memory right there to go back up to 3, and then they're going to be able to Digivolve with the effect, see what they choose to go into. They are going to go up into the Orumon once again, so going to be able to Digivolve for 3. The Dorumon gaining a memory is coming in super clutch right now, so going to be able to put another source underneath, as well as being able to pop one of my Digimon. I do believe they swung targeting the Imperialdramon, so the X-Vmon's going to go down, and then the Imperialdramon stack is going to go down as well because they are boosted up well beyond the 12k that my Imperialdramon has. But now they're at 0 memory. I still have a jamming Vmon and a Stingmon on board with an X-Vmon coming in the back, and so even if they have blocker reboot, I can just go ahead and DNA Digivolve and start to get some more draw and things going like that. And since that my opponent's at 0, I think the cheapest memory that they can give me is 3. So no matter what, I am looking in a pretty commanding spot right here. So my opponent's just thinking about what they want to do. We're talking about if there's any potential win for them here. They would have to be able to clear both these Digimon off on the board without giving me too much memory to be able to do something like just build up into a Dino Bee and suspend the Orumon. So they're just going to go for a little bit of thinking, but decide that they can't do anything. They're just going to play the Dorumon there and then search, but then going back into my turn, I'm going to be able to just swing in for game. There's nothing in security that's going to be able to save them. They flip it over right there, and the security check was a Mechanorimon, so definitely going to be game just going into my next turn. But with that being said, that is going to go ahead and be today's match. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, because now that we have the cards, I'm going to be busting out a ton of BT8 battle content, especially prepping for regionals, so I am excited to bring you all of that content. But with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you next time. Peace out.